Here we are at our first stop on our way to San Juan Island. This line for the ferry. The mountain you just saw in the background, snow-capped. Go back to it. That's Mount Baker. Mount Baker there. Look at that. Look at the date. Look at that rascal. So the ski season is just now about to end here, June. Saw a lot of snow-capped mountains coming across the Rockies and the Cascades, which have still shots of. Cheryl's waiting in the car, and so I guess I better get back to the car with her waiting over there, and I'll be back here in just a little bit. Here's Muffin waiting. You excited, Muffin?
Yep.
Ready to roll?
Ready to roll.
Just ate a great dinner at, what was that place? Charlie's?
Charlie's.
Oh, we ate at Charlie's in Cardiff by the Sea in California, too. We're into Charlie's restaurants. Surely not affiliated, though.
Did you get a picture of Baker? Mount Baker?
Yeah, I did. Mount Baker. We just talked about skiing there. I'll be back to you later. Island with cars driving off. This is my new wife. Oh, we've got some boarders here. Going back to San Juan.
I don't think you're going to make it to movie business, guy.
Well, here we are at Friday Harbor, San Juan Island. As you can see, a little couple in front of us here just got married. This will focus up there, not on the windshield. There we go. Friday Harbor at San Juan Island. And arrival time here, as you can see, 10:53. And here's the lovely. Well, we just got in our room maybe an hour or so ago. It's 12:32 a.m. as you can see here, which means it's 3:30 back home. That's the front door entrance. Tomorrow we'll give you a shot of the outdoors. All the lights up above. Nice little kitchen table. Got the curtains all closed up. As you can see, it's a log cabin. Old-timey radio. There's Muffin.
Hi.
How do you like it, Muffin?
I love it. It's wonderful.
Muffin really loves it.
Yes. I
Show
can't
you
wait to
this.
sit tomorrow. Tell Alex there's ducks outside.
Oh yeah, we'll get video of these ducks for Alex. As you can see, there's a old-timey radio.
Show him the table of ducks.
Oh yeah, it's on the table here is hand-carved ducks.
And the signature of the guy who did it.
There's a little closet to hang up. Here's
There's a sofa
the
bed
fireplace here. Cheryl's saying there's a sofa bed over there, so you could sleep 4 in here. See the ceiling there. And here's the fireplace here, all ready to roll for one night later this week. The nights do get a little cool up here. Here's the kitchen area. And back to the front door. And go back here. Let's see, go over here and show you the map here. These are the islands, San Juan Islands, and I'll zoom in on this rascal over here.
This is where we are, right here.
San Juan Island, right here. And right up here, that's Friday Harbor. That's where the ferry came in from the mainland, which is back over there somewhere. And we are right up in the top. Can't really get close enough on that rascal. Let's see here. Maybe I can there. Lonesome Cove Resort. There we are. There's where we're sitting. So, and anyway, coffee maker now is fully equipped in here. Go back here. See, here's the bedroom. Old closet over there. And
And my extra blanket for the bed.
Cheryl's extra blanket for the bed. And nice little bathroom, shower still there. Hi folks. Yep, it's great. I'm zonked, but it's great. I'll be rested tomorrow. And go on back out here. I guess I'll flip this out. And these they have for sale, which Cheryl said she might want one of these, and we may have to get one. That hand-done prints of our cottage, as a matter of fact. It's called the Spiden, which we can purchase. A memento of our honeymoon. And so this is it, and I guess I'll be gone for now, and come back again tomorrow. And maybe get a picture of that rascal fired up one night and get you a shot of it from the outdoors. So, nice little arrangement over there too, isn't it? And guess we'll talk to you later. Well, here it is the next morning. Actually, it's afternoon now. And I thought maybe you'd want to be able to see the outdoors and the view and whatnot from the room here. And there, as you can see, is what's right outside the front window here. I'm listening to a radio station from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and we're gonna get ready to go out now. So I guess we'll talk at you later. Bye bye. Well, I don't know, deck. There's view. Over there, that's a library with games and books and all kinds of things. There's a duck pond. Library. There's a boathouse. There's other folks' cottages. They're in front of ours. There. Walking down the side here. Nice view, huh? Spotted him for speeding. That's our cottage. We'll see. Come over. It's a muff. And I have a rental car in the background and nothing. Not yet. Stocked wood pile. They're right here. There's baby ducks.
Are you scared?
They were sitting up.
I just gave them all that pride. They could at least come over here and see me.
Baby ducks. I think that must be Dad hiding over there.
Where?
Straight over there.
Oh, yeah. Yep, they're wading away through the... Gosh, there's a big cloud.
Going over to see Dad. It's his office. Mom must be up in the other pond. Ready to go, Muffin?
I'm ready.
Okay. Still see you in a while. Well, we have stopped here at Rose Harbor. This fairly exclusive resort area. You can see condos and all over there for a resort. Privately owned resort community. And there's little marinas down here. Yeah, see through that other tree there. But as you can see, it's quite a beautiful little place, huh? Well, there's a lot more beautiful places, so I guess we're gonna have to be moving on. Still on San Juan Island, Rose Harbor. Now we're moving on here, going to the British Camp San Juan Island National Historical Park, as you can see. With us today is Muffin of the Muffmania Academy. So we'll be cruising up into here shortly. Thanks for being with us today.
big close shot. That fixed it on his face.
That's like Hawaii. No close shots. No close shots. Oh. Sorry about that, folks. Oh. Yeah,
I
shaky
think we
video.
should come back tomorrow.
No, it's British camp information, son. This spot pays tribute to the time when men of wisdom and patience tried peace instead of war to settle differences. Here for nearly 13 years, forces of British occupation occupied this ground. Forces of Britain occupied this ground until a decision of arbitration awarded San Juan Island to the United States. After the crisis events of the Pig War in 1859, the governments of Britain and the United States agreed to occupy San Juan Island jointly. British Royal Marines arrived here in March 1860 and set up a tent camp. In its heyday, English camp had a number of frame buildings, a log blockhouse, a parade ground, and a pier. If the arbitrator, Emperor William I of Germany, ruled that the island was U.S. territory, the British garrison withdrew in November 1872. So here we are, folks. Over here to the information center. My foot goes running off.
Century, Great Britain and the United States became rivals over control of the Oregon country. In order to provide time for the peaceful division of this disputed land, the two nations in 1818 signed an Anglo-American agreement which provided for a joint occupation of the territory. Later, in 1846, the Oregon Treaty gave all the land south of the 49th parallel to the United States and the land north of it to Great Britain. An exception was made for Vancouver's Island, which dipped below the 49th parallel. But the treaty makers made a mistake. They thought there was but one strait between Vancouver's Island and the mainland. Actually, there were two straits, Rosario and Haro, with a small group of islands called the San Juans in the middle. These islands and the claim to their rightful ownership was, in 1859, to become a serious matter of dispute between these two great nations. In that year, there were about 25 Americans on the island and a number of employees of the Hudson's Bay Company, which had established a farm, several outlying sheep stations, and salmon curing stations. There were strong feelings of mistrust based on differences of opinion as to who owned the island. The British considered the Americans trespassers, but the Americans claimed that the land was theirs and guaranteed by their government. Small confrontations occurred, which only served to harden the positions of both sides. Tempers were growing shorter, and then on June 15, 1859, Lyman Cutler shot Charles Griffin's pig for trespassing in his potato patch.
Dear Governor Douglas, an outrage was committed here today by a man of the name of Cutler, an American, who has recently established himself on a prairie occupied by me and close to my establishment. And one of my pigs, a very valuable boar, he shot this morning. Something must be done.
Sir James Douglas, governor of Vancouver's Island, had had enough of the American insults to his people and considered landing British Marines on the island to keep the peace and enforce Britain's claim. The American settlers, fearing reprisal, petitioned the commanding general in charge of the Department of Oregon, Brigadier General William S. Harney, asking for protection. Although they disguised their request as protection against the Indians, Harney easily read between the lines and ordered Captain George E. Pickett to land parts of the 9th Infantry on San Juan Island to defend against any possible British threat. On July 27th, Company D, 9th Infantry, landed at Griffin Bay. Upon hearing of this, Sir James Douglas became enraged and ordered British naval vessels sent to the island. During the next several weeks, tensions mounted. Either side could have triggered a war. The President considered the situation urgent and dispatched General Scott, Commander-in-Chief of the United States Army, to the scene. Through his diplomacy, an agreement was reached by November for joint occupation of the island. Each side was to be allowed a garrison of 100 troops. The situation on San Juan Island remained like this for the next 12 years as the dispute of rightful ownership went to arbitration. San Juan became home to many a lonely soldier from both the American and English camps.
Dearest Margaret, this island is a place fit for animals, Indians, and boat labourers, of which there's no short supply. My day is filled with marching, drilling, and general policing of the area, whilst the Yanks do the same on their side. It is not my idea of glorious duty serving Her Majesty, but my duty is forsworn, and I'll stay on this island until the dispute is settled. Fortunately, we have got the best of the deal. Our campsite is much more pleasant than that of the Yanks, and it is within a day's journey of Victoria.
The two camps became well-known establishments on San Juan. The British built on the northern end, the Americans on the southern tip. English camp, as it was to become known, was begun when the Royal Marines landed on the east shore of Garrison Bay on March 21, 1860. At first, the men lived in tents, but after clearing the shore of its thick growth of trees, they erected a storehouse and planted a small garden that was enclosed with a sapling fence. Eventually, a cooking house and a two-story blockhouse were built. Barracks for the men came next, followed by a small officers' quarters and a separate officers' cooking building. Several years later, a large house for the commanding officer was erected, complete with a bathhouse, a pantry, and a double fireplace. And as time went on, smaller houses for the officers and their families went up. The English took great pride in their quarters and in their camp. Visitors were impressed by its simple beauty and good care. An American visitor in 1868 noted,
In passing along, we noticed the camp of the English garrison on San Juan Island and were struck with the singular beauty of the scenery around it. In the foreground is the level greensward with a noble tree rising from its center and fringed with spreading maples. Up through these are winding walks to the officers' quarters, and beyond, a lofty hill on which a summer house has been erected.
little things marked the daily routine of the British men. They built a multifamily birdhouse which they tended, and a billiards room. A source of considerable pride was a sizable vegetable garden and a large formal garden that was created with a series of walkways through and around it. A person walking from the main camp to the officers' area would pass through it. Visits to the English camp became a regular social event for the islanders, and especially for people coming from Vancouver's Island. There were holiday excursions, social dances, and special events for the troops and visitors alike. But holidays for the English camp were the most special days.
Dearest Margaret, on New Year's Day, we decorated the barracks with sprigs of evergreen and holly. Some of the men in the garrison spread out the old Union Jack and other insignia, made the place look like a room fit for a ball. Last evening, we received a large number of the island residents and entertained them with a supper and a dance. It was a jolly good time for everyone.
Holidays also saw a day full of activities like track races and games, including a sack race, bobbing at rolls, and attempts at walking a greasy pole. Sometimes visiting artists would give concerts and dramatic readings. In contrast to English camp was American camp, which, according to logs and records, was frequently in need of repair. The barracks were old and often cold in winter. The bunks needed to be replaced, but never were. The daily routine of the American soldiers followed a definite pattern. Reveille sounded at 6:30 in the morning, and taps ended the day at 8:45 p.m. The day consisted of drills, meals, guard duties, and rest times. It was a set routine that several civilian doctors who had contracted to serve there had trouble getting used to. Loneliness, boredom, and bleak weather might have gotten to some of the American men. There were several suicides, although the rate was not unusual for the Army as a whole. The turnover of officers at American camp was more rapid than at English camp, where personnel had long, stable assignments. The commanding officers of English camp were judicious men. who administered the camp with a minimum of fuss from the start. In the American camp at first, there were petty jealousies among the officers, and some of the men had a serious problem with alcohol. The English, in the beginning of their encampment, had problems as well. There were desertions early on for several reasons. Gold was being discovered in nearby areas, and men became victims of the fever. Local diggings of minerals and lime paid high wages to men willing to work, and the nearness of American soil on the mainland was attractive to those men who had had enough of the military life. As time went on during the joint occupation, life settled down to a semblance of normality for both sides. Soldiers got married and held large open weddings. School classes for children were begun. And on national holidays, both garrisons contributed to the social life by celebrating with dinners and balls for each other's camps and for guests. Field sports and horse racing became the common pursuits of pleasure as a racetrack was created near the American camp. In 1872, Kaiser Wilhelm, who had been asked to arbitrate the dispute, declared that San Juan belonged to the United States. Almost immediately, the British troops were given their orders to leave their encampment forever. But they left with regret.
Dearest Margaret, I have splendid news. We're coming home at last. But I have to admit that I have grown fond of this place, having forgotten the uncivilized nature of it when we first arrived. We have kept the buildings for the men and the officers very comfortable, and they're in much better shape than the Spartan cabins of the Americans. We leave behind a camp of dignified beauty for the Americans to possess. I hope they care for it as we have these last 12 years.
When the British left, they handed over to the Americans a total of 27 structures, 2 wharfs, 2 wells, a pasture, a garden, roads, and considerable fencing. Over 100 years have passed since the Royal Marines lowered their flag in 1872. But there are still vivid marks of their 12 years on San Juan Island. The guardhouse, a barracks building, the storehouse, masonry from the blacksmith shop, stone steps, and the stonework at the side of the captain's house and elsewhere. The formal garden has been reconstructed in the south corner of the parade ground. Wars have been caused by incidents as trivial as Cutler's shooting of a pig. For a brief moment in 1859, an outbreak of warfare had threatened the peaceful charm of the San Juans. But responsible men intervened and restored calm with common sense. The men who lived on the island after that date were to create a piece of history that will always be an integral part of the island. Both the British and the Americans left their marks here. And from looking at what they created for themselves, we today can draw upon the heritage they have left us to enrich our lives. They have also taught us that war sometimes can be avoided through peaceful arbitration.
There's a real thing, all our muffins over here. This does look like it's not really a muffin. British flag flying up there, flannel like that. Walk over to this house. It's a muffin at the door. There we go. Inside, got wood, and more wood. And
Muffins.
this is where they peep out, see if any enemies were coming.
Enemies coming in.
Oh, and this is all boarded up. Can't go upstairs there. Oh, this is
All the holes up here in the building.
the guns, yeah. Blockhouse. This log blockhouse was similar to the one built by the Americans at their camp. The troops of the two nations got along well during the length of joint occupation. Neither raids by northern Indians, forays that did not happen after the troops landed. Just wrestle, buddy. Focus rolling. Yeah, there's little holes up in the top where they stuck the guns out to fire onto them. There's a little schoolhouse over there, I guess. There's another house we'll see what in a while.
So I guess you say climbing down here.
Yeah, we're gonna go climbing over here. Rascal was a storehouse. This was the first structure built at the English camp before the Royal Marines left Vancouver Island for this fight in 1860. The Admiral charged requested a sufficient quantity of lumber, shingles, nails, and other materials for building a storehouse measuring 40 by 20 feet. A landing in front, a lot of small boats to provision supplies for Vancouver Island. So this was the storehouse. And they'd come right up here. Unload it. Now this building here, where it's now the information center, is the Marine Barracks. This building, that's right a photograph. Was a fairly small structure. When it first appeared at the camp scene. By 1867, Marines' quarters were considered unfit for habitation, and the British Navy began extensive repairs. The barracks then reached its present length. The Crook family was settled this island after the British left in 1872, using the building as a dwelling for a time. The three camp structures remained because of the care given to them by James Cook, who lived on the island for 93 years until his death in 1967. Now, we'll go over to the British Garden. This is the formal garden. The Royal Marines planted a small vegetable garden before they built quarters for themselves. Later it became an ornamental garden, separated the main camp from the officers' residences located on the bench above you. For the officers' wives, it was a pleasant reminder of their homes thousands of miles away. This historic photograph was made from Officers' Row. This is the formal garden, and this is a muffin. This is the muffins behind. This was the huge tree that they talk about in the little slideshow. It was in the center of the camp. Huge tree. Okay, well, we're out of here, and we can probably come back here and go climbing. So we'll see ya.
In 1859, the killing of a pig on San Juan Island brought England and the United States to the brink of war over the issue of territorial rights here.
This rascal doesn't focus very well.
By agreements, both nations' troops were permitted to occupy this area while the problem was studied. British soldiers established camp in Garrison Bay, which was most appeared, while American troops arbitration dispute. In 1872, placed the San Juan Islands within the territory.
They not get past me or what?
In October, British garrisons.
In 1859, the killing of a pig on San Juan Island brought England and the United States to the brink of war over the issue of territorial rights here. By agreement, both nations' troops were permitted to occupy this area where the problem was studied. British soldiers established camp at Garrison Bay, just west of here, while American troops camped on the southern end of the island. Peaceful arbitration of the dispute in 1872 placed the San Juan Islands within the territorial United States. In October of that year, the British garrison was abandoned. They are stopped on the side of the road, looking at little deer. Let's just cruise on the side of the road here eating. He's like, he doesn't care. I guess now we'll just have to be cruising. Oh, it's got an itch. Guess we'll have to be off now. So maybe we'll get you some pictures of some other things shortly. Got it?
I got it.
Say REC up there for recording.
REC for
There you go.
record.
Yeah, so it
And
is,
we're off.
it is recording a little fire truck there. We've got coming up on a firehouse. And, hey, like that view down ahead.
Ooh, it's nice. Getting better. Gosh, it's so pretty.
Out of view. Push it again and it shuts off. Push it again. Well, here we are at, on our way to the lighthouse point, and thought we'd stop here. It's such a beautiful spot. On our way to the lighthouse point where supposedly there have been some whale sightings here recently. So we'll see you a little bit. Here we are, Lime Kiln Point State Park. This is where the lighthouse is and where they've seen a lot of whales. So that's where we're going. Called pods. Oh, they travel in groups. Call them pods. Orca identification. Photo identification has greatly contributed to orca research. Through photographs, individuals on entire Washington and British Columbia orca population have been identified and described in detail since 1974. Physical characteristics of distinguished individual orcas are dorsal fin shape, size, and scarring, and saddle patch shape, pigmentation, detail, and scarring. Orca social structure. Identification of individual orcas has allowed research to study social structure of the Washington and British Columbia orca population. Findings indicate that these whales have a matriarchal society where family groups are centered on mothers and their offspring. Orca pods are composed of a number of these maternal groups. Orca routes. Lime Kiln Point State Park lies within the range of the southern resident community. This community inhabits the waters of Greater Puget Sound year-round, ranging from southern Puget Sound north to mid-Vancouver Island. Southern resident community is composed of 3 orca pods: J-pod, K-pod, and I-pod, or J-pod, K-pod, and L-pod. These 3 pods can be seen frequently from the shoreline of Lime Kiln Point State Park during the summer months. Findings indicate the local orca population is seasonally attentive to areas where salmon are concentrated. Strong tidal currents push migrating salmon against the west side of the San Juan Island as they make their way to the Fraser River to spawn. These natural phenomena, tidal currents and salmon migration, create excellent orca feeding grounds from the southern San Juan Islands to the Haro Strait to the Fraser River estuary. So, yeah, is where they go, and we are right at the top of my finger right there on that arm. And they say, please don't harass the hell out of them, please protect them. And they're saying, please get closer, and that whale saying, please don't. And they're saying, you know, be careful, because they'll beat the shit out of you. They'll also eat you. Researchers think the Washington and British Columbia orca population is divided into 3 communities: southern resident community, northern resident community, and transient community. 3 communities are distinct groups distinguished by range, dialect, social behavior, and feeding strategies. Ranges of Three communities sometimes overlap, but breeding and social interaction does not occur between the three groups. The transient community differs from the two resident communities and has a larger range and smaller pod size, and by specializing in predation on other marine mammals. The two resident communities specialize in predation on salmon. So, we'll walk down here. Whale watching trail side. Water. Oh, excuse me. Gosh, that was good. No motorbikes. No fires. Muffins. Muffins alone.
Yes.
Although very rough. Still out here today. I guess we'll be going until we go eat, huh? Yazamaza, sir. Thought I better take just a little bit more before we leave Lime Kiln Point. Actually, we have left, and we're headed down the west, headed south on the west side of the island. Kind of a neat view here. Waves crashing up on the side there, and just quite a pretty sight. So I think that we stop and take a quick line. Here is an American bald eagle. I don't know if the grass will get close enough for you to see. Went back the other way, but possibly you could have seen the white on the head. See that that was indeed American bald eagle. So look what we have here. Here's Mom and her colt. I knew Alex would love to see this, so we thought we'd better stop and record it. That's Mama horse, Alex, and a baby horse. Baby horse is called a colt. And it's looking over here at us. It's a cute little horse. Yep. And that bald eagle's still up in the tree over there behind him. Going away from us now, so I guess we better go on up the road now, Alex. But we'll try to get some more animals for you later. Oh, there's a bald eagle again. I was hoping I'd be able to get close enough, but he's going the opposite way. Shoot. But here's some cows, Alex. Looking at you. Your dad could hold the thing straight, huh? I was trying to look around for the eagle. cows. There's a mama cow and her little baby cow, Alex. It's a calf. The baby cow is called a calf. I guess we better go now. I'll come back and hopefully show you some more little wildlife. Moo! 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 There we go. Another bald eagle. Hopefully he'll get close enough where
Let's go.
you can see that rascal.
There's the other one dead. Oh, he's coming down lower.
You could really see him that time, huh? The American camp at San Juan Island. Whereas Muffin said, the American camp in San Juan Island. The little geese. Oh, and there they go. And they're just flying away. That was geese, Alex. Geese fly usually in a formation, which looks like a letter V. Here we are. Got another little stop on the side of the road, just to show you another absolutely beautiful panoramic view. So I just go back around one more time and then shut her down and mosey on. I'm glad I caught those geese quickly before they disappeared from sight. So, that's it. And we're heading on now. Now, we're going down to 5 Mile Beach on south tip of the island. See ya. There's another American bald eagle. It's cruising away. What? Oh, is that a bald eagle too? Is he coming in or going out? Oh, there they are, bald eagles. Well, Muffin thought this was absolutely marvelous, and wanted to get a shot of this. It is quite nice, eh? There you are. Lighthouse down there. Here comes a car.
Let's go.
Getting it back on wide angle. Whoa! Go there, man. Get a little bit closer to the lighthouse. Close Here we are back at our log cabin. Just finished grilling out. I was gonna try to catch sunset, but I missed it. It's already gone. It's already history. It's over there. It's the muffin thing. You can't figure out whether to focus on the glass or muffin. Oh man, high tide's in. All that was exposed earlier today down there. High tide it's at 9:16 or something. Oh, gotta go eat steaks. See ya. That's an example of a wildlife that's running all around here. It's a Colombian black-tailed deer. Just hanging out here, not afraid of people. They're protected, so. It is that. A stock trout pond up on the hill.
It's so private. It's unbelievable.
I love it.
Everybody knows if it comes here, so it gets tougher all the time to get a reservation.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm almost right up on this cow. We're talking about a wild deer here. Oh well, we're gonna go catch some clams now. go clamming down by the English camp on, I forgot what he called it. I think he called it Bell Point. I saw a lot of people coming out there with a bunch of clams yesterday, so I'm going to go check it out. We'll be back with you in a little bit. Deer is going to cruise away. Black-tailed Colombian deer. I like this stuff. Little baby ducks. This is our cereal. There's Mom over there. Stand by herself. Got 3 males and 4 babies over here. Get right from one of these rascals. Look at those little wingers on top. Well, I guess that's about enough for the ducks, and I have to go back to cooking my clams. Well, I wanted to show you the clams that we cooked, maybe we caught and cooked. There's only a few left there. However, there's quite a number of empty rascals in the house. Let me get these off and I'll be back to you. Now let me show you these little mothers that we have been cooking. There are some 4, and this is a whole pan full of nothing but clam meat that we have been picking and picking and picking. And just so you know, I'm not lying to you. You see, there's many empty shells that we have been picking and picking. So we caught all of these today. In what, Muffin? How long did it take us to catch this? About an hour?
About an hour.
About an hour.
About an hour.
About an hour. Of course, Muffin should not have been digging, so you can see where she is now. Tom told her she shouldn't have been digging, but she did it anyway. So you see what she's doing now, don't you? Yeah. With the herniated disc. Now, guess we'll, I just want to give you a shot of those before they're all gone. And I'll come back in a little bit with the live prawns that we got. Yeah. Yes, this is where Muffin and I have whipped cream and sex in front of the fire. And here's the hot bitch right now.
Yes. See my teeth, are they clean?
I was just telling everyone how we have whipped cream and sex in front of the fire here.
Did you show them the can of whipped cream?
Yeah, strawberries for afterwards.
Well, that's enough for that. We're gonna have to go for a little while. Well, maybe we'll be back in a little bit.
That fire's just humming.
I mean, you can see this bad boy just sitting on the ground over here. There's a deer. You see it right there, right in the center of the picture. It's a deer on the ground. Just sitting there on a job, checking it out. Hey, guy. And deer just sitting there. There's a bald eagle flying right over top of him. And there's another one just back a ways. He's walking. He's inching away. Bald eagles everywhere and deer everywhere. There's a deer again right in the middle of the picture. He's just looking right at us. You can barely see him probably through here. I don't know, but that's about as much as I can zoom. There he goes, walking away. Looking back this way. Colombian black-tailed deer. And don't see that eagle up above anymore. I'd zoom in on him for you. But well, I guess we better try to roll on. We're going to get us some Irish coffee. We just stuffed ourselves on clams we caught all day and shrimp, live prawns we got. Were great. They tasted like lobster. They were so good. And so anyway, I just will mosey on now and go have our after dinner drink. If we see some more wildlife on the way, we'll stop and show you. Well, here we are on this side of the road again with another little deer. Oh, there goes Volkswagen. Yep. Deer just hanging out. Another one of these Colombian black-tailed deer. Obviously another female. We just had a female turn and run the other way. And at that point we knew that the underneath of their tails are white as well. So from their ass end when they're running, they do look like our white-tailed deer. However, the exterior, or when the tail is hanging straight down, the outside part of it is black. And that's where they get the, as you can probably pick up on here. And there you go. That's why they're called the Colombian black-tailed deer, I reckon. And there goes another car. Doesn't seem to phase these deer. This deer The last one scared the hell out of it when we went by, when we slowed down. This one doesn't care a bit. Well, guess we better move on again, or we'll just have a whole video full of nothing but deer ass. Okay, so we'll see you in a little bit. Let's see what this backlight. Alright, here's the backlight button, just so we know what it does when we get on. Ta-da! Lights it up, doesn't it? There it goes. Now it's regular. Now it's backlight. Now it's regular. Regular backlight. Regular backlight. Regular backlight. Regular backlight. See ya.
Back. They're really good eating fish.
Wow, I got the
They're
first
like a
fish.
bass. No, call it fullback.
It looks like a bass.
You caught it on this little rubber one. It's like a ocean version of the big mouth bass. That's what it is.
Cheryl's first fish. First time she ever went fishing, she caught the first fish.
We'll put him in the tank. Here. And we'll put some water on him.
All right.
Whose beer?
That's
Is
mine.
that yours? I don't think you want that in there.
He doesn't want the beer. How do you like it?
That's good.
Two for you and none for you yet.
That's right. Cheryl's outfished me, that's for sure.
All right. All right. Take your thumb. Reach in real hard. There you go. Keep his quills with you.
There you go.
All right.
Number 2. Watch.
All right.
Hopefully I don't make that out too well. I think this camera is blurry. I don't know. Find out later. The nose are sealed. There's a deer coming out of there. Just swam the little channel. Whoever he's making up. Eagle sitting right up there. Right there, there's his head, white head. It's right here.
You ready?
Sir.
Oh, cock it.
Here he comes. Oops, excuse me.
Okay, focus right on the bait.
Get him, Eagle.
Here he comes.
Get it.
You're a fight.
Shoot him, Muffin.
Here he comes. Focus on the bait, Doug. You'll miss him if you don't.
Take him, take him.
Can you see the bait?
Get him.
He's gonna make another pass. Here
Here
he
he
comes.
comes, here he comes. Oh, wow, that was beautiful. There you go. There he's going down for it. There he goes.
Now. You get it?
Oh, wow.
Good one.
Yay.
All right.
You get it, Muffin?
He's happy now. He's
All
got
right.
dinner.
Did you get him?
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
You took that whole fish?
Yeah, he just picked the whole
He
thing
just
up.
grabbed the whole fish. Sorry, bastard.
Huh? Did you see him?
Eye, Tom. Tom's our hero. Yay!
You don't get pictures of that very often.
There he goes.
First time I've ever had
He's happy. He's got dinner.
And there he goes, happy with a full tummy off into the horizon.
That's it.
Comes.
Nothing's on the bait, babe.
Okay, I will. He's gonna go right over your head. Probably get one right there. Here he comes. You
There
ready?
you go.
Good one.
Good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Muffin.
Did you pick it up?
Yeah, you got it.
Look at that
That
bird.
seagull trying to chase him. They know you, Bob. They say, what the heck? This is free dinner. Boy, if we got these people trained, they go fishing for 4 hours and throw it away in 5 minutes, huh? This is a yacht, and the guy, this man owns Motel 6. He's got a helicopter, believe it or not. That's the tail of it. It sits on top of the boat. Little dinghies on the side. Aberdeen, South Dakota. Boston whaler goes fishing in them. That is one big rascal. Right there in the center, that's the tail end of the helicopter. Private yacht and a man who owns Motel 6. West. that peak. One behind the tree.
No.
Right. Bob's laying for dinner.
That's right. It's gonna be so good you're not gonna believe it.
Oh, look at that pile there in the cap.
That is gross. Oh, it's looking right through. But that one's still alive.
Muffin's gonna cook it.
Muffin's gonna cook it. Look at that
Ah,
one. Is that how you kill him? No. Just cut him.
No, you do get their attention, though.
It's soft on one side, but then you go back and it's all bristly. Care to touch it? Oh, I picked him up.
Got a couple, not many. Got a couple.
What's your best one?
How you feeling?
I got two crabs.
2 crabs?
Yeah, one's definitely a keeper.
Oh yeah?
Hold them up, let's keep them.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's start counting.
Can you hold it? It's going.
Oh, we got more junk for them. We even fed the eagles.
Well, you let them set for a few seconds, otherwise they get a little startled and they might take off. They just got there. I mean, they haven't been there very long.
Oh, okay.
Give them a few minutes to chow down a
Let
little
them
bit.
start eating all the while?
Yeah, and they'll get their claws in there and they don't want to let go.
Oh, okay.
But you got 2 in there already, so there's quite a few of them in the bay right now then.
Good.
They're ready to eat, I think.
Yeah, they just came right over. They weren't
You gotta let us know how the fish was.
On that one.
He hunts them with a pitchfork and dynamite.
He's just on the edge.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, I see that.
You know the story about the guy? We don't want to tell you about the guy fishing with dynamite.
No.
The game warden found out about it, so he thought he'd just get on the boat with him, you know, and go out and see if he really did. So
You
sure
got a
enough,
bucket
the
or
guy
something
went
to
out.
put them in?
He took his cigarette out and lit the dynamite, and he threw it out in the water like this. And a bunch of fish
What do we put
came
the
up.
crab
He was
in?
netting them up, and the game warden says, "You know that's
Gotta have
against
a
the
bucket
law."
somewhere.
So the old boy took
yes.
Sarah with him. Said, "You gonna fish and
Stick. Hey, mine are armed and dangerous. This baby's living. Uh-oh. I better stay back there.
That'll make a dynamite fisherman out of you real quick."
That would make them dynamite fishermen, I can see it. Still like the way my Uncle Frank used to catch them back in Carolina, though.
Throw the crab in a
Go
plastic
for
bag.
catfish.
Is that going?
Yeah.
And he had one of those
Push it off.
army.
They got big claws. Oh,
There's
look
my
Yeah, this one's got a
crab.
good size one.
It's my Dungeness crab.
Let's take a look.
Are they Dungeness?
Are there rocks?
No, these are
No.
Dungeness.
Are they?
Dungeness.
They're dark.
Isn't that hole there, hole holder, and the one up and down right there?
Here, yeah.
Where do you want him?
Up here on the cleaning board.
Oh, he's getting away.
That's a rock there.
Grab him by his 2 hind legs,
Those are, yeah, those are
the 2 back legs, 2 very back legs.
very back legs. Yeah, these are
Run
rock.
off, and there's nothing left in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, the Dungeness crab is the one that has a lot
And
of
then,
body.
this is the gill. See this little black stuff here?
Yeah.
You pull that off, and any excess
That's
shell.
like the blue crab back home has those.
He's after you.
And that's
He
it.
is.
And that's all you boil.
All right.
Kill me, you say.
Sunset again. 9 o'clock almost. June 4th. We just got back from fishing trip. Muffin caught the first fish, caught her first fish, and the first fish of the trip. And thought this would be a good shot to get of the sunset. You see that that dock wasn't there earlier. It's just there today. So the guy must be working on it. But that's enough. I guess I'll be going now. So we'll see you. office house. These are the multiple pools going up to the trout pond, which is up over that ridge, way up in the background. We'll walk over to the dock here. This is the library house where they have books and games and stuff that you can check out. Walk out to the dock. No plastics. Stow it, don't throw it. It's the law. Caution, very slippery. This is pretty, isn't it? I had to take a still shot of this. There's the sun disappearing. You can see it's going down really quickly. Just a tad touch left. Just a teeny bit. And bang. She's gone. Over the mountain. Beautiful, isn't it? Goes down quick when it hits that horizon. And that's it. We'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed that. What a beautiful sight to look at. Coming up on the cottages, that's the first one. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. No, excuse me, that's only 5. And that one right there, the 5th one, that's ours. The Spiden. Next one over is the Skipjack. Next one is the Stewart. And I'm not sure what those two are over there. Back around to the scenic view. Pan around here just to show you there's a loft where they have a lot of boat storage and that sort of thing. Normally those boats over there are rented. And then the library, they park a long drive out in the office. And then back around to our cottage. So back to the good view. So that's it for now. I'll be seeing you. We'll be back either later tonight, more than likely tomorrow. Adios.